Hi there, it's Stephanie. In this video, I'm going to review 3 features that are part of this template, and they are the menu in the upper left, the motivation meter, and the timer. So the menu works, it's a custom menu. When you click on the hamburger symbol or somewhere near it, it's going to slide out a menu from the left showing you the content of the module. Any item in gray means you've already completed it. You can navigate to each of the sections here as well, and while the menu is displayed, the playback of the slide is paused. When you click on the hamburger symbol or any of the white space around, it's going to conceal that menu, and away you go again. So let's take a look at how that works. First off, the story itself has 3 different scenes: intro, open, and conclusion. The original project had several more scenes that were in the middle here, and within them several more slides or questions, but I've reduced it down just to 1 for demo purposes, and you can build upon that yourself. So we're sitting up here in the introduction scene, and there are 3 things I need to point out around the menu. So the first thing is every single slide contains this rectangle shape that's a transparent fill sitting on top of the image for the menu, and it has a trigger associated with it. So it basically is changing a variable called menu state and setting it to true if you click on that box. The other 2 variables are current scene, which identifies the scene that you're in. In this case, it's scene number 1. It could be 2 or 3, depending on where you are. And because it's scene number 1, I have a variable called scene 1 and setting that to equal true on the very last slide of the scene. And that indicates to me that that scene is completed. So the menu uses all of those variables. The menu itself is sitting up in the slide master. You can see from the slide master that the trigger sitting here is show the layer menu when the menu state changes if it's equal to true. So when you click that transparent box, it's going to show you this layer. It's going to slide out the menu, and it's going to pause the timeline, allow you to make choices, or you can click again anywhere in the white or on the hamburger symbol, and when you do that, it's going to set the menu state back to false, and it's going to resume the timeline. In other words, it's going to animate that menu off the screen. Okay, the other feature is the motivation meter, and the best way to show you this is to go to one of the questions. So in the open scene, there's a single question sitting here, and it's got quite a bit of stuff going on, layers and triggers. Let me explain. You have 2 attempts to get the correct choice out of 3. 2 of them are wrong, 1 of them is right. Each wrong answer will take a point away, and each right answer will add 2 points. And that matters because the motivation meter is based on the points that you're collecting as you go through the questions. In this case, we only have 1 question, so the motivation meter is going to swing a bit wildly here, left and right, because it's only factoring in 1 question. So when you select, say, option A, which is incorrect, it's going to evaluate that and take you to the layer option A, incorrect. And one of the first things that happens is it subtracts 1 from the meter. So that hand and the meter is going to swing a little bit closer to the red side. If you select option B, it's going to add 2 to the meter. So it's going to swing from the left over toward the right by 2. The other thing that's happening at the same time is that there's a timer going on. It's a 35-second timer that starts right after you begin the question, and it gives you, again, 35 seconds. It's a single object, it's just a rectangle, and that rectangle though has 35 states, and you can see as I hover that each of the rectangles gets a little bit shorter in height as each second goes by, giving you the illusion that it's actually animating that. It's just changing states, and the way it does that is that when you start the question, it's going to take you to the countdown layer right away. That countdown layer is going to subtract 1 from a variable called seconds, and if the variable called seconds is equal to 34, then it's going to show you the timer in the state called 34. If it's 33 that's left, then it's going to change the timer graphic to the state of 33, and so on and so forth. So if you are only doing this for 20 seconds, then you only need 20 states. In this case, I'm doing it for 35 seconds. Once this layer completes, it restarts again. So the layer is only 1 second long. So it does this state change, and then it continues to replay this layer until there's no more time left on the timer. And once the seconds variable is equal to 0, it's going to flip over to the time's up layer and subtract 1 from the meter because you didn't get the answer right, and then continue on providing some incorrect feedback. So let's see this in action. All right, so you can see that the question has begun. The timer is going down, and I have about 30 seconds to respond. So I'm going to select option A. I know it's wrong. Take a look at the motivation meter. I go back by a point. If I select now the correct answer, it's going to swing to the right by 2, give me some feedback, and the next button will flash, taking me to the next question, or in this case, the next scene. So the meter itself is sitting on the master slide. If we pop over to the master, you can see it's sitting there. It's a dial interaction. I've created a custom background and a custom hand. The object is called meter hand. And if I go up into the dial tools, I can show you how I set that up. So again, it's associated with the variable called meter. And I've got the start value as 1, end at 5, and the initial value at 3. And the way I calculated that is I have 2 incorrect, which are 1 point each, and 1 correct choice, which is 2 points. So it's a total of 4 points. I only have 1 question. So I have the start value as 1 and end value as 5, because if I just did the end value as 4, I can't get that dial hand to be sitting right in the center. So I had to increase it to 5 so that I could get a center point to begin with. So I can go 2 points to the left or 2 points to the right in total. And so if you have more than 1 question, you just double that up. So I think that's really it. That's all the features that are in here. If you have any questions, just fire an email. I'm happy to answer them, and have fun with the template.